Good afternoon, everybody. This is Robert at Scott Leroy Marketing. That was my doorbell. What was I trying to say there? We're going to get started on our Kelle AI app overview in just a minute. I do want to do one sound check, or a second sound check actually, before we get started. If you'll look up at the very top of your screen, you should have the same buttons that I have up here. And just left of center, you should have your chat bubble window here, chat bubble button. If you'll click on that and let me know here in the chat window whether you can or can't hear me, I would really appreciate that. All my indicators on this end are letting me know that you should be able to hear me, but I like to hear from you guys that you definitely can. While I'm waiting on some of those responses, I do want to let you know this class is okay. Number 29 says they can hear me. Beautiful. Okay, so this class is recorded. Wow, lots of people can hear me. Beautiful. It is recorded. It's going to be available hopefully within just a couple of hours at slmtraining.com. I sent you guys the link for that there in the chat window. And then if you're having trouble hearing on your computer speakers, you can dial in with your phone, or with your phone. Excuse me. Okay, let me minimize this. And then maximize this. So the first good bit of the class here, we're going to be working with this slideshow here. It just helps me to stay organized and not get chasing down rabbit trails and shiny objects. So if you want to have this slideshow, you can actually get a copy of that from our Google Drive. I'm sending you guys the link there. Once you open up the file, oh, it didn't send it over in the correct way. But once you open up the slideshow there, you would just click File just under the file name and then do Make a Copy. And that would copy it into your Google Drive. You don't actually need to request edit access because we can't let you edit this slideshow because then that would edit it for everybody. So you would want to make your own copy into your Google Drive. Okay, and then there are instructions to print it in the slideshow there. Alrighty, so as we get started with Kelle, there's a couple of things to keep in mind, a couple of considerations to bear in the front of your mind as we work. Kelle is essentially an infant. She's only about 7 or 8 months old. She was released at Family Reunion this February of 2018, and there's still a lot that she should and will be able to do that she can't do just yet. So with that in mind, KW International and we recommend you treating Kelle like a 2-year-old. Treat her like a baby. Use simple commands, just a couple of words like show my referral network, and then also use specific commands like what is my GCI for the year? What is my gross commission? Versus what have I done this year? That's a much broader question that takes into account your GCI, your number of listings, your number of appointments, things like that. So you want to be specific with what you're asking her. And then you also want to manage your expectations with Kelle. You probably have a great idea for something that she can or should do, could or should do, but she just can't yet. So you can submit that idea actually to the development team for Kelle right inside the app. To see what Kelle is capable of, what she currently is capable of, just ask her, what can you do? And then one last thing before we get started, for the rest of this class, if anything that I'm showing here on the screen is different from what you're seeing on your phone, there's no need to panic. There's not a glitch, it's not an issue, it's just that you likely aren't a member of the Labs group that has been given access to that particular feature. I am a member of Labs, so I have access to some things that a lot of people aren't going to have access to, so just bear that in mind as we move forward. If my screen is different from yours, it's not a glitch, it's not a problem, it's not any reason to panic. I just may have access to something that you don't have access to. Okay, so to get started, if you haven't already, you're going to want to download the Kelle app from your App Store. So if you're on iPhone, that's on the App Store, or if you're on Android, that's in the Google Play Store. It's not available on Windows Phone, nor is it available on BlackBerry. Very similar to the KW app. You only have the iOS and the Android versions. Once you've got the app downloaded and installed, you're going to need to sign in, and that's going to be the same username and password that you used to sign in to mykw.kw.com. And do keep in mind that it has to be your actual username, so first initial, last name, and then maybe a number or two, something like that, not your @kw.com email address. Just like KW International did away with that sign-in option at the beginning of last month, early September, it has never been been an option in Kelle. You have to use your actual username. And if you don't know your username or password, shoot us an email. We can try to help you figure that out, or you can contact KW International. Once you're signed in, if you're on an iPhone, you can enable either Touch ID or Face ID. We do have confirmation recently that Face ID on iPhone X does work with Kelle, but if you have anything earlier than an iPhone X, you can use Touch ID as well. Now, once you're signed in, I think I rearranged some slides here. Okay, since Kelle is a new system, some issues are bound to occur. If you don't know what your MyKW, or excuse me, if you do know that your MyKW username and password are correct, they're working to let you into MyKW, but they're not working for Kelle, you'll want to contact KW International Support directly using the email or the phone number there on the screen. This, unfortunately, is not really anything that we can help with. Any errors with Kelle are going to need to be addressed by KW International because they hold 100% of the strings with Kelle. The only things we know how to do is uninstall, reinstall the app, and try signing in again. That's about all that we have. Once you are signed in, you're probably going to want to tell it allow on any notifications so that you can get real-time updates on your referrals and then eventually your contacts and your deals. Once you're through that and you're on the home page, this is what it looks like. It's essentially a chat between you and Kelle. You can either type or speak requests using the message bar at the bottom, and we'll cover more on that later. For now, instead, we're actually going to open the menu down at the bottom right. It's that 3 horizontal gray bars where the bottom one is shorter than the other 2. In this menu, you can view your profile, change your app settings, submit feedback to the Kelle team at KW International, and then also work with referrals, the map search, contact, and then insights. What insights are, we'll cover in just a little bit. Let's tap on your name up at the very top there to see what other agents see when they look you up here in the Kelle app. This is how you look to other agents who search for you within Kelle looking for a referral. Now, do note that you can only view your profile here. You're not making any changes to your profile. You can only see what's there. To make any changes to this profile, you have to do that in KW Connect. That's something that we cover in our KW Connect overview class. We'll be doing that next week. It's also recorded again at slmtraining.com, just like this class will be. Let's tap the back arrow up in the top left to go back to the menu. Next, we're going to open up settings. There's actually only one setting to change here in Kelle. It's really simple, but let's open that up. This is a new feature introduced in May, so new-ish. With the Kelle app open, she is always listening for "Hey Kelle" and then a command. If you want to use this feature, you'll need to turn it on manually as it's not on by default. Now, one note, make sure to pause for about half a second between when you say "Hey Kelle" and when you actually start the command you want her to do. This is a little bit different from like "Hey Siri," "Okay Google," "Hey Cortana," where they're ready to hear the command immediately after you say that phrase. But for Kelle, there's actually a delay, a little bit of a pause that you're going to need to put in there. Now, last I heard, and this was back in June, but if anybody has an Android phone and you're able to make this work, let me know, because last I heard in June, it wasn't working on Android just yet. It was only available in iPhone. So if anybody has an Android, let me know. So, okay, I guess I skipped a step. Let's tap on the back arrow up in the top left again to get back to the menu. And we're going to tap on referrals. We're going to spend a good bit of time working with referrals a little bit later in this class, but for now we're just going to glance at what this looks like. So when you tap on referrals, this is what it looks like. From here, you can do everything with referrals that you can do from within KW Connect. You can add to your hand-picked referral network. You can send referrals to the agents in that network or even agents outside of the network. And then you can work with any of your existing referrals, whether they were inbound or outbound. Let's tap on that down arrow right next to where it says matched. It may actually say a different status for you on your phone depending on what you looked at previously, but this down arrow right here, we're going to tap on that. And it's showing you the different kinds of statuses for the, what are they called, referrals that you can send back and forth with other agents. If you've attended or watched one of our previous Kelle or KW Connect classes, you may be familiar with these different statuses. This is something that we're going to cover more on later. Yes. So we're going to go back again using that arrow up in the top left, back out to the menu, and we're going to tap on Map Search. Here we're going to spend a good bit of time on the different options that are here. On your Map Search page, near the top right, just to the right of the search bar, we're going to tap on that down arrow right next to the what's supposed to be a little listing sign there. In that menu that drops down, you'll find the different types of things that you can search for here on the map. You can search for agents in a specific city or zip code, contacts, and this contacts is based on address information that you've put into your command database. You can search for insights, which are tips about certain physical geographical areas that other agents have shared. We'll talk more about that in a little bit. You can search for listings in the area, and this is IDX enabled, so it's all listings. It's not just KW listings. And you can also search for Kelle snaps for the area. The first option, searching for agents, is pretty self-explanatory. You can find agents near you using your GPS location, or you can search a specific city or zip code to look for agents to add to your referral network or to send a referral to. It just occurred to me that this is a good point to pause. If anybody has any questions, if I'm moving too quickly, if there's something you're not clear on, or if there's something I skipped or something you want to know about that I haven't covered yet, definitely let me know in that chat window. I showed you guys this at the beginning of the class, but there have been a lot of people that joined since then. Up at the very top of your screen, you should have these same buttons that I do. Just to the left of center, you've got this little speech bubble icon. If you click on that, it's going to open up your chat window and you can send me questions. I will be monitoring that. Okay. The next option down after agents is contact. And like I said earlier, this is showing any physical addresses associated with your command contact. So if you tap on this contact search here, what happens if we don't have contacts or insights? That's actually something that I covered at the very beginning of the class. I'll cover it again here. If there's anything at all that you see on my screen that you don't have on your screen, that just means that I'm a member of labs, the labs group that has this feature and you aren't. So this is something that's coming to everybody, but for the time being, it's only available to certain labs participants, and I happen to be one of those. So if there's anything that's missing from your screen that's on my screen, oh, that is a good question. I'll get to you in just a second, Diane. So if there's anything missing from my screen, or excuse me, missing from your screen that's on my screen, it's not a glitch, it's not an error, it's not a problem. I just have access to it currently, and you'll get access to it later. So Diane says she'd like to have a brief description of Kelle's purpose. That's a little bit easier said than done because Kelle is essentially supposed to do almost everything. You're supposed to be able to work with your contacts, with your calendar, with reminders, with advertising, with deals, with referrals, with what's it called, neighborhood information, with looking up listings, things like that. Kelle is supposed to be an all-purpose digital personal assistant. So you're supposed to eventually be able to say, hey, Kelle, add John Smith to my database. Here's his number, here's his email, and set a follow-up reminder for 1 month. You'll also be able to tell Kelle, you know, enter a phone call for Sandy Seller, and we talked about maybe reducing the price. You'll also be able to tell her, hey, what should I know about this area? And she'll grab your GPS location and pull up next door neighborhood information and listing statistics for your area. There's a lot of things Kelle is supposed to be able to do, and a lot of that information is in KW Connect. That's a good question. Can other agents see my location? No. This location is essentially your market center's location. So they would tap on the market center and it would expand out to show the agents in that market center. So they're not seeing your actual GPS location on the phone. That's a good question. So Diane, I hope I answered that for you. Kelle is supposed to do kind of everything. If you want more information about that, you can go into KW Connect and just search for Kelle or search for latest in labs, and there's a lot of great stuff in there. Okay, dropping down to the Insights Map Search option. This is a little bit unclear in KW Connect and in what KW International has shared with us. What we've been able to gather is that insights are shared by other KW associates about specific places, areas, or other points of interest geographically, and we'll cover more on that later. I'll show you my sample insight that I put in here, and we'll search for some insights later. And then the next one down, listings, it's just like everything else on the list. It can be searched via GPS by search my location. You can search for a city name or search for zip code. Now this is an IDX search. It's going to show all listings, but it's going to be basically for reference. You're not really sharing these listings with people like you would in your KW app. This is for your reference, or if somebody asks you about a particular listing, you can pull up MLS information here in Kelle as well. Now about listings, results will show as individual points on the map. You see all those little home icons there. Each of those is a listing. You can use filters up in the very top right to narrow down these results. These filters here aren't nearly as robust as on the regular KW app. So, or at least they're not currently. If that's something you'd like to see, you would submit that feedback using the menu to the Kelle development team, and they should be able to add that without too much fuss. You can filter by price, status, address, and then the agent who has that listing. Once you tap on any particular listing, a pop-up will show with a summary of the price, status, address, beds, bath, and square feet. If you tap anywhere on that preview, excuse me, on that summary, you can view the full listing details, including the agent, listing date, brokerage, everything from the MLS, basically. We're going to go back using the back arrow up in the top left back to our map search, and looking at the last one here is Kelle Snaps, or SNAP is short for snapshot of the market. Viewer 38. I think I covered this a couple of times earlier. Those listings are all listings. It is IDX enabled. It's not just KW listings. So back out to the map search, the last option is snaps or snapshots of the market in a particular area. So if you tap on that, you have the option to search for a zip code or a city name, or you can search your GPS location via the search this area button. Once you search one of those, it'll pop up showing a couple of search results. The most I've seen is 5, and I searched New York City. I would expect there to be more, but maybe it's limited to 5. If you tap on the particular result that you want to see, it'll show you stats for that area, including total active listings, days on market, lots of stuff there. And then there's supposed to be some information coming from nextdoor.com, neighborhood information. We're not sure yet how well integrated this feature is. We haven't really heard anything specifically about it, and we haven't seen much evidence of it here in Kelle. Evidently, snaps are still being worked on, because I know there are definitely some listings in New York City that are not showing here. This is right by the water, right by Rockefeller Park. There definitely should be some listings here. Coming back out to the menu, we're going to go back twice, back from the map, back out to the menu. We're going to tap on the next one down, which is contacts. This contact section lists all of the contacts in your KW command database. And like I said earlier, if you don't have access to command yet, or if you don't have any contacts in command, no big deal. This is going to become available for everybody, but currently it's only available to Labs participants. From this page, you can search all of your contacts. You can view a contact's details by tapping on them. You can edit that contact's details, or you can even add new contacts. You can even record interactions with your contacts, like did you give them a phone call, did you send them a text, did you send them an email, did you go visit them, that kind of thing. We're going to go back again, back to the home page. Down at the bottom, you've got your little keyboard icon. If you tap on that, it'll bring up your keyboard, and you would use this text box just like sending Kelle a text to ask her to do things. If you have voice commands enabled, you can tap on the, what's that called, microphone right in the center, and then you can say your command that you'd like Kelle to do. Or you can begin with just, hey Kelle, and then pause, and then say your command without having to tap anything. Now, to learn what types of things Kelle is capable of, just ask her, what can you do? Alternatively, up in the very top right, you've got that little information icon. It's that little eye inside the square. If you tap on that, it's going to show you the different kinds of categories of things that Kelle can do. Once that information menu is open, you can tap on the different sections to see a list of example commands pertaining to that topic. As of today, I just checked this today, Kelle has different functionality for different people depending on their lab's participation status. So certain things in this list may or may not be grayed out for you depending on where you are in labs and what you have access to. It looks like I have access to almost everything here except Keller Mortgage, and I can't because I'm not an agent, and in my market center that I'm in doesn't have Keller Mortgage or something like that. But for you guys, you're probably going to have more grayed out sections than I have. For me, she can do the referrals, CGI, KW Connect, listings, profit share, QR code scanning, and then the one everybody has been waiting for, contacts. If you tap on any of these sections, you'll see sample commands that you can have Kelle do to perform that action. And if you tap on the sample command, she will perform that action. Now, do know that this is not an exhaustive, full, complete, and total absolutely everything Kelle can do list. This is examples of the kinds of things she can do. So if there's something similar to what's in one of these lists that you'd like her to do, type or say that back on the home page and see if she can do that. We're going to be working on the referrals types of commands for most of the rest of this class, and then any of the actions we're doing here can also be performed on kwconnect.com on your computer browser. We'll also cover some of the things Kelle can do with listings and contacts. So from here, up in the top left, we're going to tap the back arrow to go back to the home page. So as far as referral networks and your KW command contacts, you'll actually get notifications about those things here in Kelle. You'll probably also get email notifications depending on your settings, but you'll get them here in Kelle as well. To see those notifications, tap on that notifications bell icon up in the very top right, just next to the information icon where we just were. Right now, the most common notification you'll receive from Kelle is referral network requests in KW Connect, though you could potentially see notifications about content from people you follow and subscribe to on KW Connect. You'll also receive, like I said, an email notification so that you can accept or deny the referral request on your computer as well as here in Kelle. Now, one big note about the referral network, something that we always like to cover when we're talking about the referral network, is that it's not a social media platform, it's a business tool. You do not have to accept every referral network request that you receive, nor should you be sending referral network requests to absolutely everybody you can think of, everybody in your market center, everybody in your state, everybody in KW. This is supposed to be a hand-picked, small list of people that you're sure you want to work with referrals with, either to send them your referrals or to receive referrals back from them. Only send or accept referral. I just said that. So if this list gets really, really long, if there's several hundred people in your list, it kind of defeats the purpose of creating your hand-picked referrals network, and it becomes just another white pages search. You can search for agents all day long. The ones that you actually want to work with are the ones you want to put into your referral network. We recommend sticking to agents that maybe you've worked with in the past, or maybe that you met at Mega Camp or at Family Reunion, and you actually connected with them and you truly believe you might actually do referrals business with. Like I said, this is not supposed to be hundreds of people long. This is maybe a couple of dozen people that you are confident that you want to work with as far as referrals. If you do decide to accept an invitation that someone sent you to join the referral network, Kelle will pop up with a congratulatory message. She'll say, yay, you're a member. Also, if your referral network request that you sent to someone else is accepted or rejected, Kelle will notify you of that here as well. Let's tap on the back arrow to return to the home page. To send a referral network request to invite someone to join your referral network, you can either type or say, add so-and-so to my referral network. She'll search KW Connect for profiles matching that name and then show you the results. You'll scroll sideways and tap select on the correct contact, and then you'll add an optional note to go with that request and then tap save to send it to them. To show a list of agents that are already in your referral network, back on the home page, you would just ask Kelle to display it. You can say just referral network, show my referral network, or who is in my referral network. And you would again scroll sideways through the list to see the agents in your referral network. From here, you can call, text, or email them, or open the menu using those three dots on the right to follow them on KW Connect, see their latest posts on KW Connect, remove them from your referral network, or send them a new referral. To view someone's profile, just tap on their picture or their name when you see them in search results or in your referral network. When you're viewing their profile, you can also contact them using those same options that were in the list, email, text, or phone. You can also see the statistics that they've chosen to display on their profile, such as year joined, closed units for the past year, closed volume for the past year, etc. Back at the Kelle homepage, you can type or say, send a referral to so-and-so. Now, when you're sending a referral, this person does not necessarily have to be already in your referral network. That used to be the case when the system first came out, but they updated that, and now you can send referrals to people whether or not they're in your referral network. Kelle will show a list of possible matches, and you would tap select on the correct agent. On the referral form, you would complete all of the options. They are all required. So your referral fee that you're requesting or offering, the deadline to accept the referral, and the client's information. Then you would tap send up at the very top right. Like I said earlier, all of the fields are required. You do have to add everything, including the note down at the bottom. Now, when someone sends you a referral, you'll receive a notification both within Kelle and an email notification. Within Kelle, tap View on the notification to see the details. In the referral details, you have the option to accept the referral as it is, counter with a new referral fee, or reject the referral outright. If you do decide to accept the referral just as it is, just tap accept, and then you can send a note of thanks or saying how well you will take care of the client to the agent who sent you this referral. If you decide that the referral fee offered isn't acceptable, you can counter with I should have changed this to lower percentage. If someone requests, I want 40% referral fee, you can counter and say, no, I'm going to do 25 because that's the standard. Now, do note that 25% is the default setting when sending or countering a referral, but it can be raised or lowered. You just drag that slider to the left or right on each referral. You can also choose how long the referring agent has to accept or reject your counter. And you can also send a note describing your reason for asking for a lower percentage. From there, the ball is in that referring agent's court to accept or deny your counter. Very similar to working with clients. When you get an offer, you negotiate back and forth. You can do that here with referrals as well. If you decide to reject the referral, say you don't want to work with this person, you've never heard of this agent who's sending you the referral, you don't work in that area, you don't work in that price range, something like that, you can just tap on reject, and when you do that, you have the option to send a note of apology for why you wouldn't work with that referral. You can view a list of all active referral requests, those that have not been rejected or completed, by asking Kelle to show my active referrals. You can type or say that. From this list of active referrals, you can again swipe sideways between awaiting response, outbound referrals, and inbound referrals. Outbound means you sent the referral request to someone else, and inbound means someone else sent you the referral request. And you can tap on any particular referral to see the details of that referral. So I'm going to tap on this one from Scott here. If you accept a referral, or if the referring agent accepts your counter, it's good to keep that referring agent abreast of how the transaction is going. While viewing the details of the referral that we just tapped on, you would tap Update to send a status note to the referring agent. Now also, do the notifications of incoming referrals only come through the Kelle app, or will there be an email sent as well? I did cover that earlier. It is an email and the notification here in Kelle. Okay, where was I? So you can send, so if you've received a referral from another agent, you can send them updates on how that process is going, and they can actually send you updates for, I talked to them about such and such, this is something you need to know. They can send updates to you as well, and you'll get notifications in Kelle and an email. Once a referral transaction is over, whether because the deal was closed or because it didn't work out, you'll want to complete the referral. So you remove it from your active referrals list. Just use the earlier steps to view your active referrals, tap on that referral to open the details, and then tap on complete down at the bottom. You'll want to tell the system and the referring agent whether the transaction did or did not close, add a note, and then tap complete. Now this referral won't show up under active referrals anymore, it'll be under closed referrals. To see referrals that are no longer active, just ask Kelle via typing or speaking to show closed referrals, and she'll show you those. You can view any referral's activity log, whether it's active or completed. Open up the details of that referral and then tap Activity Log up at the very top right. You'll see the initial request, any counters that went on, the acceptance of the referral, any update notes back and forth, and then if or when the deal was closed or lost. Do note that the oldest activity, the initial request, which is going to be the oldest, will be at the very bottom of the list. It goes most recent to least recent. Most recent is at the top. Okay, so from here, we're going to get a little bit more hands-on. I'm going to be sharing my phone screen with you guys just because it's easier that way. Let me get over to where I can do that. Eventually. Come on, phone. Okay, let me try restarting my program that shares it. Which is not very fast. Yeah, I know you weren't able to connect. Let's try it again. There we go. All right, drag this up here. Actually, you know what? Let me jump back to this slide here. If you have access to contacts in your Kelle app, you can add new contacts, you can view existing contacts, you can edit existing contacts, you can log an interaction, so a phone call, text, email visit, or you can delete contacts, just like you would in the command database. So, okay, back over here in the center, make this as big as I can. I apologize for this watermark here. You should still be able to see what's going on. Okay, so working with contacts. There's a couple of ways to do that. I'm going to type, and you can say this as well using the voice commands. I'm going to type show contacts. Oops. There we go. And these are my contacts that are in my command database. I have 164 contacts in my command database. And I can swipe through these sideways. Oops. Swipe through these sideways. And if I want to learn more about a particular contact, I can tap on it. And it'll show me the contact details for that contact that's in my database. From here, I have the option to call them, text them, or email them. If I tap on text here, it's going to open up my text. What's that called? Text app on my phone. You notice it says null up here. That means I don't have a phone number for this contact, so I can't actually text them. But I can tap on, go back over to Kelle, I can tap on email and send them an email. It's going to open up the email client on my phone as well. Delete that draft. There we go. If I go back, I can go look at other contacts. I can tap on the little menu icon down here, and I can log an interaction. I can view my activity history, or I can go edit them. Let's log an interaction here. She asks, what kind of interaction would you like to log? Was it a phone call? Was it an SMS? SMS means text message for those of us that aren't old. What am I trying to say there? Was it an email, or do you want to just add a quick note? Let's do a quick note here. And she says, okay, enter the notes you would like to add. So I'm going to bring up my keyboard here, test note for class, and then do send. And then she asks me, yes, okay, would you like to record this note? You can tell her yes, no, or you can edit what you just typed. I'll tell her yes. Thanks, I've logged your quick note for Page. Fun stuff. So if I go up and look at Page, actually if I tap on the menu here and I view activity history, there we go, there's our note that I just added right there. And I thought that if I tapped on that, it would show me what that note said. Maybe not. I'm not sure what it's spinning down there at the bottom. I'm not sure where to view the content of the note that I just set. Interesting. That may be something you have to do in command. Okay, let's add a contact to my command database. So we'll say, hey Kelle, add a contact. Happy to help. To add a contact, I will need a name and either an email or phone number. So let's tap on enter contact details, and you can type in their name and their contact information and any notes or groups or anything. Say I had the phone number here. In fact, this isn't going to work, but this is how it would work. Add John Smith to command, phone number 361 2657890. She thinks I'm asking for a phone number from somebody that's in KW Connect. Okay. Add John Smith to contacts. There we go. John Smith is now in my contacts, and if I want to enter a phone number or an email or something like that, I can tap on enter contact details and type in the phone or email or anything like that. I just noticed this. This is new. Down at the bottom where it shows groups there, it says enter groups separated by a comma. It looks like contacts that are added by Kelly are automatically added to a group named Kelly. Fun stuff. All right, let's go to our menu down here, and we'll tap on contacts. And let me search for, let's see, let's look for John. John Smith right there. So we'll tap on John, and I can come over here in my menu here, and then edit contact. And I believe I can delete him, right? Huh. Can I delete contacts? Okay, it won't let me delete contacts from Kelly. I'm sorry, I misled you guys. But you can add or edit contacts here in Kelly, and you can view contacts. Are there any questions on what you can do with contacts at this point? Because, like I said, this is not a fully fleshed out feature. KW International is working on some big deal systems that will connect your contacts. Oh, I got to cover that. That will connect your contacts to your deals, to your email, to your calendar. All of those things will be interconnected, so you'll be able to see, okay, so for John Smith, I have an appointment with him on such and such day and time, and our last communication was an email through my Gmail account, whether it's my KW email or another Gmail, on such and such date. And then if I haven't checked my email today, it'll show me, oh wait, he emailed me today. Let me go see what that says. Oh, he needs to move our appointment. I can go over to my Google Calendar, change that appointment, and it would also show in Kelly. And there's in the works systems for, okay, he has decided he wants to become a client. He's a buyer. We are looking at such and such listings. On this listing, he wants to put in an offer. So I'll put in an offer in the command system, and it will track that connected to John's contact. There's a lot of interconnected stuff that's going to be going on in the KW Cloud system that's not happening just yet, but it is being worked on. So again, any questions at this point? Okay, not getting any questions. If you do have any questions, go ahead and shoot them over in that chat window, easy to do. So one thing I wanted to remember about Command and Kelly and your contacts and your Gmail specifically, when you log into Command on your web browser on your computer, you can connect commands to your Gmail account, any Gmail, it doesn't have to be your KW email, but you can connect it to your Gmail account, and if you have a contact in your Command database with a certain email address, any emails that you've sent to that person in your Gmail account or that they have sent you will be listed in that contact details information in your KW command. That's one of the cool things that's new in Command, and if you want more information about that, just send us an email. Let's see, what else were we going to work on? Listings, I think, is what I wanted to look at. Oh no, insights. So looking at insights here down at the bottom of this list, what I've been able to tell about insights, and this isn't something that I've been able to gather from KW International, it's just practicing and looking at it and looking at other people's insights. Insights are, if I tap on add up here in the top right, you can add an insight about a particular place. So say, you know, in your area, there's a great mechanic that you take your car to, you have all your stuff done by this mechanic, and whenever anybody asks about this mechanic or about a mechanic, you send them to this guy. You can add an insight about this mechanic here in Kelly to share either with, this gets shared with other agents. So if you have an agent, theoretically, if there's an agent in another state that has a client that's maybe moving to your area and they want to give that client some kind of piece of value about that area before they send a referral to somebody, they can find this insight about this mechanic that you really like and say, oh, hey, this agent, one of my KW associates, one of my KW colleagues says that this mechanic is great. If you ever need a mechanic, definitely check them out. You can also talk about a specific area, a general area. So maybe if there's a neighborhood or a subdivision that has a good bit of turnover, or is a luxury area or is a historic area, and you have information about that area you want to share with other agents, you would do that here as an insight. And then you've also got other, which is way more ambiguous. Insights, about geographic locations like I don't know. I'm from Pensacola, Florida, so I could do an other insight about Pensacola in a general sense that says, even though Pensacola is a tourist town, it's not overly busy. Most of the traffic is, south of Interstate 10, and if you live north of Interstate 10, it'll only take you roughly an hour to get down to the beach. So there's great affordability of north of Interstate 10, and you still have access to all the things you're going to want to have access to, or something like that. And then you can add a picture of whatever your insight is about. I should have done that. Any questions about insights in particular? All right, if you do have questions, send them over in the chat window. Excuse me. Normally this class would jump over into KW Connect to talk about working with referrals on that end, but we don't have the time to cover everything in that class, or in this class that's over in referrals, because there's so much new stuff coming out about Kelle and in Kelle and new things that she can do. So we're just leaving time for adding new things to this class. One last thing I want to cover with you guys is the release schedule, rough release schedule. Let me get this out of the way here. For new labs features, and labs includes Kelle and Command and whatever new transaction system that they're working on, and Greenstreets and whatever. So upcoming features are, I believe you're going to be able to set reminders for contacts. You can add items to your Google Calendar rather than just viewing them. There's neighborhood information that's supposed to come over from nextdoor.com. There's a lot of other stuff that they're working on, but as far as like the core currently available Command Labs, the rough schedule is currently the top 10 teams in the company are currently using the Labs systems, and they're testing them and they're using them in real life situations every day to run their business. And as they run into features that they'd like to have, or if they run into problems or things like that, they're reporting them to the Labs development teams, and they're making it better for when it comes out for general availability for everybody in the company, all 180,000 associates. Roughly in January of 2019 is when they're hoping to be able to send that out. This is a tentative schedule for releases. This was announced at, excuse me, what am I talking about? Mega Camp in August. So things may have changed since then. Things may be moving more quickly or less quickly, but roughly everybody should have access to the Labs what are they called, tools in January. And then there's going to be a new update to the KW app coming out sometime in the first quarter of 2019. So January, February, March, sometime in there, the KW app is going to get a big update that's going to help connect the user experience on the KW app with your information, your system in the KW cloud and Command and on your Kelle and everything. One of the things that I read about it is that they're hoping to, while people are in the app, they're going to be able to tell which listings people are looking at and for how long. That's something that a lot of agents really want to have out of the KW app. And so the new app, hopefully with the new Command system, is going to be able to show you that kind of information according to what was said at Mega Camp. So that's a rough tentative schedule for how things are going to go, or hoping to go. If you have questions about that, please direct those to KW International. We got this from them. Everybody have a great day.